Hello, folks, and welcome to the review series of Season 3 called Since Then, which catches up on the lives of my chat partners since we first spoke. And with that, we have Garry Pastore, we have Peter Patrikios, and we have Greg Lingo on the line. Hello, guys. Thank you very, very much for being here. And with that, I'm going to turn over the podcast to you guys so that we can catch up with each other. This is the last call for On the Call.
That's great. Thanks for having us again. It's great to catch up with you guys. I had a chance to do a podcast with Peter, I guess probably a month ago at this point, maybe a little longer than that. We caught up recently. Garry and I have been talking a little bit about second home properties. We haven't talked about any films coming up, but the guy that Peter and I know, I've been working with him and trying to formulate a script, so it could be a future project that we could all work together on. So I'm excited about that.
Yay!
What have you been up to, Ozzy?
Back in the days of EST and all that sort of thing, I might be dating myself a bit, but I got involved in the Silver Mind Control, which was something my father wanted to give me as a gift because he felt as a young lady that I needed to be a lot more centered mentally. So I did that. Well, I just rebooted that with Vishan Lakiani, and then I also did a memory course with Jim Quick, which was great. Outside of that, I've been doing a lot of self-tapes, and one of my missions this year is to help some friends of mine who have been given a timeline on their life because they've been diagnosed with fatal diseases. And so I've been putting together a t-shirt line from which the sales, I would like to donate 20% from the profit to help them with their childcare, with overhead, with out-of-pocket medical expenses, things like that. So hopefully you guys will help when I put this thing out here. We'll donate to help things happen. They don't want to let people know that they have what they have. So it's a little difficult, but trying to do it honoring their privacy and dignity. So with that said, Peter, what have you been up to?
Oh my goodness. How long do we have? Because it's been just jet setting and around the world. On a personal note, I just got to tell you, this is one of the ridiculous things about healthcare in this country. My mom is, she's aged and I'm her caregiver. I was trying to get her a stair lift to get her from downstairs to upstairs because what had happened was she suddenly couldn't walk that well. And so I had bought a kiddie pool and I took a hose from the kitchen sink and I made a shower curtain around the thing. That's how she was taking a shower.
Wow.
Was because you can't go upstairs. Do you know that Medicare won't cover getting a stair lift?
Wow.
That is not something that they cover no matter what's wrong with the person, apparently. So I went and got my own. This is where you find out necessity is the mother of I can do it. Just 2 days ago, installed a stair lift in the house. Now, I didn't know how to do it right because it was a left-handed one. I had to do it right-handed for my house. So now her back faces the wrong way. She goes up the stairs facing the wrong way, but that's okay. She still makes it up the stairs. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that.
Wow. Yes.
Professionally, the film, The Last Call, really just set the stage for a lot of stuff that's been happening. And I didn't realize the kind of impact it would have. So thank you, Greg. But I've been getting to audition for things that never had, come my way before. I'm not going to mention the show, but it's a 6-episode recurring role to play a bad guy. And then I had done a film with, I don't know if you know, Zoe Deutsch is Leah Thompson's daughter. And one of the first movies she ever did was Mayor Cupcake. She is executive producing a film. And they reached out to me to audition for this creepy guy who's sort of stalking her throughout the film. I don't know why people always have me playing creepy people. So I've been feeling good about stuff, feeling good on a personal note and feeling good professionally. So things have been going well. Speaking of busy people, Garry.
Yes, I have been busy.
His IMDb recently?
I have been busy, but not with so much the arts. I mean, I wrote a couple things. I basically just been trying to enjoy life a little bit because, it sneaks up on you. I have some things in the pipeline. I'm waiting for contracts to come through because I never consider anything until I have something to sign. But I am supposed to do a film about a serial killer, which I was supposed to do last year, but because of COVID, we got pushed. So now it's come back again. And I'm looking forward to that because I'm the lead detective on the case. And it's always intriguing, trying to solve a mystery when it's a murder mystery, especially, but even more so when it's something outlandish, and this is pretty outlandish. So,
Garry, I like this quote. I'm off the duty. Take the Uber, douchebag.
Oh my gosh, my cab driver. Yes, I am off the duty.
Off the duty?
Yeah, some movie I did a couple of years ago. They keep posting the clip.
Yes.
That's funny. I have to look at that.
Yeah, I'm an undercover cop in a cab watching a drug den, and this guy gets in my cab. So I'm trying to get rid of him without tipping off that I'm a cop. And he's not getting it. And he keeps telling me he's going to report me. So finally, I throw him out of the cab at the end.
You see Garry all dressed up with the turban and the whole thing.
Garry, did you improv that, or is that written?
It was written, but it was not scripted. The director and I had always wanted to do this gag because it's a long story. Basically, there was a guy who owned a deli downstairs from the director. He passed away. His name's John Gallagher. I used to go in and torture the guy because he had a stutter. So I would go in and I'd say, excuse me, I want to play the number. I need 50, 50, 50, 50, and hurry up. I want to go home and see 2020. And he used to go, you want 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. He got stuck in neutral. So John said we have to write a skit with him. And then it wound up turning into a cab driver.
I got to tell you, I have a little bit of a medical background. And in the medical field, one of the things people do to test sensation is they'll test sharp and dull sensation. And sometimes they'll say, I'm going to touch you with something. You'll either feel a prick or you'll feel something soft. Right. But this doctor was struggling with his English. So he said... He holds up a toothpick and a cotton swab, and he said, "This is my soft, and this is my prick." Tell me when you feel my prick. I fell off the chair.
The other thing I got to talk about, Greg, you had a big golf outing the other day.
I did, yeah. We, a buddy of mine from actually high school. The high school that we went to currently has about 70% of the kids are free or reduced lunch. So there's a real need to kind of raise funds for extracurricular activities. So in this case, football was a sport that really meant a lot to me. I was lucky enough to play a little bit in college. And a lot of these kids don't have what we had. They don't have, literally T-shirts and sweatsuits and just equipment. And they also don't have the resources for things like, what's the next step in life? Is it college? Is it trade school? Is it the armed forces? Is it straight into work? So we've created kind of a mentoring program for the student athletes and really any students from the high school. But we had a fundraiser on Thursday locally here outside of Philadelphia to raise money for the Upper Darby High School football team, which was we had a great turnout. It was really awesome.
Oh, that's great, man. How did it feel to watch another movie with Darby in it, Mayor of Easttown? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. So I think the timing is kind of funny how we came out right before them. There's a podcast, the local one, Delco Live, so Delaware County Live, and they had a little contest on who people thought was the best representative from Delaware County, whether it was the mayor of Easttown or I think the finals was her or Jamie Kennedy. I think Jamie was number 2 as the best Delco representative ever created on film. It's pretty funny.
Well, Jamie, is that fair though? Jamie's from there.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't fair. Yeah, he was from.
I mean, she's English.
Yeah. He didn't create. He just had to not mask his Delco.
Exactly.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. No, she was amazing. She really was amazing in that.
Who did a good Philly accent was Toni Collette in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
I think she did pretty good.
I agree
with that. Gary and I worked hard on that Philly accent right when he was starting. Yeah, you remember that, Gary?
Yeah, I got to pull water out of my boot.
Yeah, exactly.
Water out of my boot. I tell you what, living in Jersey, we're not that far away. I told you, they say some weird shit. We say hoagie, like you guys do, hoagie. And I'm going to go home. Home. I get a kick out of it, especially
That's awesome.
Since, Philly's always a rivalry town with us.
Yeah, right.
In all sports, not just one, all of them. You guys are rivals.
And I got to tell you, in Philly, we always have a little bit of an inferiority complex to New York. So we have great disdain.
Oh man,
yeah,
we can't perpetuate that.
I don't consider me New York anymore. I'm living in Jersey way too long to be a New Yorker. So, I mean, I am by heart, but deep down inside, I'm just no longer there. I left my heart in New York.
Is that why you say words like Yank Me fan instead of Yankee?
Oh, Yank Me. Oh, yeah. I'm a Met fan, and I know that's to the ire of most Philly fans, but I don't care.
Hey, do you guys think that what Greg had mentioned is changing? Because I know when I first started out in acting, there was this really a misconception that New York is where like the good actors are coming from, and Philly had, if you were in Philly, you weren't, as strong of an actor.
No, that's a misconception.
I agree with that. Yeah, misconception.
There's a lot of good actors.
I had a friend who was auditioning.
You being one of them, by the way.
Listen, this friend of mine was auditioning for a theater here in Philadelphia. She couldn't get an audition to save her life. She moved to New York. That month, she got an audition for that theater and booked the lead role, all because she moved. And nothing changed, I'm telling you, in 2 weeks of her move. But they didn't want to even consider her till they could say she was coming from New York.
Really?
But I think that a lot of casting directors, a lot of producers, have been casting people out of Philadelphia and realizing that the talent pool here,
pool here is great.
Good.
It is great. I forgot there's a couple of big actors that have come out of Philly.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper for sure.
There you go, Brad Cooper.
You're Patrikios.
I know about you, Patrikios. You don't have to keep saying it. About you.
As we're talking about that. Have you guys seen Peter's YouTube episode?
Of course. When I need a laugh, I watch Peter.
Thank you, man.
Some episodes talking about genetics, transgenderism, outside of the giant horse conch.
There's some funny stuff, but I had made a recent post about someone had put down that, once you're born a boy, that's all you are. You never change. That's biology. And it just caused me to go back to my science background and post some facts about, transgender in nature, like the clownfish can change from male to female. So Ozzy's referring to this video I just put out about a week ago. Check it out because I'd love some feedback from you guys later on about it.
I will. Absolutely. I'll do it for you.
It's serious. It's not comedic.
I'm sure it is. Listen, I'm an advocate. It just, I don't know. It's just a weird world. I think what's happening, Peter and Oz and Greg, is that I think too much stuff is getting pushed down our throats all at once. It's a lot for people to digest. All of it. I get the whole woke movement, and I was telling this to Oz the last time that I think things just need to calm down and simmer down and do things in time, because when you start to force feed people stuff, it's too much for them to digest. Me, I'm in the arts. Nothing surprises me. I'm from New York. I've seen just about everything. So nothing I find shocking or repulsive. It's just, I think that for the norm of people, sometimes they just need to have it fed to them a little slower. That's my opinion. I mean, you could.
Mine was more in support because people were putting content out there. This particular site was putting content out there, putting down folks, and I was like, look, get your facts before you go public and start.
Right.
So I, like you, Garry, sometimes I think stuff can come in too fast and then you're dealing with too much. And
exactly. It's too much for the brain to process. And most people cannot process it, or they don't want to process.
I'm talking about not processing. What is this thing about you digging for scorpions? What's up with that, Garry?
I wasn't digging for them. I stayed in a place in Arizona. And my son-in-law said, you want to see something cool? He had a black light. And there was this waterfall kind of thing going into the pool where I stayed. And he goes, that's a scorpion habitat. I said, oh, yeah? All right, show me. So he went over with the black light. Sure enough, these things glow in the dark.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool. I was fascinated.
You said the scorpions glow in the dark?
Yes, they were the little ones, which are the most venomous. You don't want to get bit by them. I mean, I don't know, you'll die. You go to the hospital down there. I'm sure they have, what do you call it, antidote. But I wasn't going to go and touch them or pet them. No, not me. But I found it fascinating because I don't see scorpions up here.
Right.
Plenty of spiders.
Why do they glow?
Because of their blood is white. So at night they're actually really white. So it's like a glow light. Like, remember when you used to go into the club, your teeth used to glow? Same thing.
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Wow.
Pretty neat. I'll send you pictures. Pretty awesome.
And the other part that I was interested in was the phrase that you had, golfing at the great one's course.
Golfing at the great one. Oh yeah. I was poking fun. You know, he's the great one. So I went golfing at his course. I didn't mention his name. I don't know who you're talking about. You have to tell me offline if you're not supposed to say it. Well, no. Who do you think? Who's the great one? Donald Trump, right? He considers himself the great one. I golfed at his golf course.
I'd forgotten all about that person.
What is your next thing that you're working on?
I haven't really been auditioning much. I find this whole auditioning at on tape, I find it, I don't like it. I'd rather go in, see the casting director, see the director. You know, before this whole COVID thing started, I used to go right to the director or producer and read for them. I didn't go, there's a process. You read for the casting director. It's almost like a screening. If they think you're good enough, then you go and you meet the director. Prior to this, I either got called right away, from the producer or director and said, we want you in a film, or I went in to meet the director and the producer and read for them and either got cast or I didn't. And I don't like this self-tape stuff. I don't know how you feel, Pete.
Right? I love it. I'll tell you why. Because I can do that from home in Philadelphia and not.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Not be 4 hours away from my mom, because then I get nervous about her falling or something.
I'd rather be in the room with them.
But yeah, Gary, the only difference is this: it's convenient. But like you get a vibe in the room with the director, and they can adjust you. And sometimes I think I'm better with the person in the room that I'm going to be working with than I am with just a self-tape. But the convenience is really been helpful, but I like being in the room with the person too, because I vibe with the
I'll tell you, Peter, if it wasn't for the reading, that's how we met for last call. But if you remember, we did a reading of the script, and that's how we met. Yep. And coming out of that reading, after watching you, I said, that guy's got to be in this thing. So to be in person, I said to my people I work with the other day that, we never hired one person because they're really good at Zoom. Mm-hmm. You really got to be able to, I think, see the person and react. But I do appreciate what you're saying, convenience when you're distant.
Yeah,
makes sense.
The other thing that with Greg, with the reading, is you get to see that person do the character, not just, that's the other thing that's tough about auditions. Sometimes it takes like getting to the meat of a role to really show it. And these auditions will be one page and you really don't get to show your stuff. So part of it is I've had directors riff off of their script and play with you. And so there's other things that could happen in the room that you don't get with a self-tape.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not getting direction.
Yeah.
You're not getting direction. If I self-tape, who's directing me? Nobody. You're the DP, you're the director, you're the actor. You got to read. Then I got to go find a reader to read with. That's
my mom will read for you.
Oh, gee, thanks. So I'll come to Philly, and audition for a show in New York. No, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm old and set in my ways. And after doing this as long as I have, I don't like to change stuff. I like the way things were. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I got cast a lot more when I was in front of those that I was auditioning for and not sending a tape in. And because, one casting director told me they got 6,000 submissions.
Oh, my gosh.
6,000. So are they even going to, how do you even see 6,000 submissions? You can't. So it's not fair. Mm-hmm. On top of it, chances are, if you don't get that out right away for the breakdown, that role is going to be cast before they even look at your tape.
Right.
And you go through a lot of trouble. You got to be off book. you're running around like crazy trying to get it together and then send it out. I know when I self-tape takes sometimes a couple of hours, to finally get and send it out to my manager that I seem good enough for it, and then I just read for something and they cast Andrew Dice Clay. All you casting directors out there, get back to work.
I know. That's the thing. We have to, like you said, we have to be the actor, the DP, crew, and then we have to download it, upload it. It's like, wow. But Greg, what else are you working on?
So it's interesting. I kind of, I really enjoyed Last Call, and I enjoyed the comedic aspects of it.
Me too.
But I really, I'm working on another project that's a little bit more gangster, drug dealer type thing. A really alive person that Peter and I know, who has just an unbelievable tale of his life and where he's come from and where he's come to. So we're working on that script, and I definitely plan on reaching back out to the three of you when that gets a little further along. Probably need the remainder of this year to get that in the right place.
I can't wait. I love work. Can I tell you something? And this comes from my heart. I've worked on all size budgets films, 200 million to 2 million, and in between and under. And I enjoy doing the independent films the best because it really becomes a family type situation. The camaraderie we had on Last Call was awesome. Getting to meet the other actors. Even Jeremy Piven warming up to me, it took him a day, but he and I, we got on quite well. And I guess it's because I gave him his space, I try not to get in anybody's space. But, between him and Zach and Peter, just about everybody, it was just a great experience. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll do indies my whole life.
I totally agree with you. I walked away from this film with a lot of friends, like more so than the other film. So indies are great, but there was something magical about Last Call. There really was. I haven't made that many friends on a set that I'm still in contact with.
No, you're pretty lovable there, Pete. So.
Oh, you better stop it. I'm coming to your booth right away.
To be playing opposite Jeremy and playing from inside of a house in which there was a cat, which I thought would try to run out every time I opened that door. And when I first did the lines again with Jeremy said, "Let's warm her up, guys." And it kind of settled me down. Even though at the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, every time I open this door, I hope this cat doesn't run out.
You were nervous about that.
That was a little rough. But it was cool to be telling Jeremy Piven off for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the lines. But Paolo, he actually, connected with me quite a bit, which was nice. And then Rob Simmons came through a couple of times just to say hi and all that.
Yeah, Rob's a good guy.
I didn't really get to meet a lot of people because I was like in and out, on that.
I think one of my best takeaways from it, like I said, was just the camaraderie and the fact that it was family. And
so that means, Greg, it's just wonderful that you're doing something again. And I guess you're hooked now after the first one, which is great. And the way that this came about, I am so happy to have been a part of it. It really meant a lot to me. So I thank you for the opportunity. Because of this, I'm able to have a conversation with yourself and, all the guys that I've spoken with on Last Call. And then having lots of laughs. Through Peter's work, his YouTube series and whatnot, and learning from him. I really like his mind. I don't know about his mouth, but his mind is great.
Yeah, Peter's scene got cut out with me. He makes fun of me. He mimics me in the movie, but I don't know. I saw why it was cut. I just not happy that it was cut.
I get it too, but I loved our scene.
So did I. It was really funny. Yeah, he's he's the practical joker in it.
Yeah, right. You guys were awesome. I'm lucky to have been surrounded by such talent, and
to see the film do so well, Greg.
Absolutely, yeah. It's right now doing really well internationally, not just in the United States. So it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
We're going to be announcing later this summer some of kind of the other directions the film's going after its initial run here on demand. And it's right now it's available on demand through Comcast or Verizon or iTunes, Apple TV, Amazon, any pay-per-view. But at the end of the summer, we're announcing that it's going to go to a pretty big network for about 15 months. So
nice.
we're really lucky. Really lucky. It's doing well internationally. It's about to be released in Latin America. So with a big international distributor. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on all those goings on. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And Ozzy, thank you for continuing to promote it and for the friendship that we've all formulated through.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she? Very easy
awesome.
to talk to. A lot of fun.
Really awesome.
And as you say that, dear audience, please head over to any of the platforms shown on the flyer to hear the full interviews, share, and as always, when you're on your beat, stay on the sunny side of the street. Be mass conscious, because it ain't over.
Yeah, man.
Garry.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being in my life, for being on the call, for taking the time. Really.
Sorry I was tardy. Do I get a fruit cup?
No, you just have to put extra sea bass in the basket. That's all.
Is that a dig at me, Garry?
Was that a dig at you? No, not at all. I love you, Peter.
So we will talk soon, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye, Oz.